Hey everybody, I'm Steve, and it's been a week today since I got out of the hospital. I had 3 stents placed in my arteries, my heart arteries, and the day I got out of the hospital I felt fantastic, but I didn't realize I'd been just laying down the entire time. And so, laying down or sitting down, I still feel pretty good, but a week later, whenever I try to get up and just wash the dishes or shave and take a shower like I just did a few minutes ago, I'm completely exhausted. It totally wipes me out. I'm so exhausted after just the most minor of activities. But it's only been a week, and quite a few of you left comments on that video that I did right after I got out, saying that for every day that you're in the hospital, it typically takes about a week to recover. So I was in the hospital for 5 days. So if that's true, then it means it'll take me about 5 weeks to fully recover. And I'm starting to think that's probably pretty accurate, just based on how I feel. I mostly have been sleeping, getting more sleep than I've had probably ever in my life. And when I'm not sleeping, I'm just sitting here in the chair, reading comments, or laying on the couch reading comments. And that's been good too, because I guess that video, that recent video on my hospital stay, really touched a nerve with a lot of you, and a lot of you could relate to it. Either you've gone through a similar procedure, or you know someone who has, a friend or family member. I'm so grateful to all of you for sharing your experiences. I've actually learned quite a bit, quite a few things I had no idea. When I got out of the hospital, they really didn't say much except don't do much for the first week. That was it. They said, contact your cardiologist or make an appointment with a cardiologist. I didn't have a cardiologist. So I made an appointment with the cardiologist who took care of placing those 3 stents, and I'm meeting with him tomorrow. So for this first week, I'm kind of in the dark. I have no idea, except for what I've looked up online, what I'm supposed to do. Right before I left, someone in the hospital said that I should get a referral from my cardiologist for cardiac rehab, which apparently lasts for 36 sessions, 3 days a week for almost 3 months. And at first, when I was in the hospital, when I was getting out, they said that, wow, that's a lot. But now I realize it could take that long just to get back to normal. And since I can't really walk, I don't think I've been out of the house this past week since I got out of the hospital. So I definitely am not walking yet, and I have a feeling that it's going to be a while before I'm taking my long walks. I thought it would be maybe a few days, maybe a week or so, but I have a feeling it may be a few months before I'm taking those long walks again. But I guess we'll see. I don't know. So viewers have left nearly 1,000 comments on this video that I posted 4 days ago, or maybe 5 days ago. And I'm pretty sure that's the largest number of comments I've ever received on a video. And I'm really grateful that so many of you have taken the time to share your advice, your experience, tips, all kinds of interesting things that I had no idea about. So your comments have been very, very helpful. And luckily I've had the time this week to do nothing basically but answer comments. I still haven't caught up, and they keep coming in. So if you haven't received a response to your comment yet, just know I haven't ignored it. Maybe I probably haven't seen it yet. I haven't read it yet because there's just so many. And they're also really, really long. Most of the comments they take me 5, 10, 15 minutes to read and respond to. So with 1,000 of them, it's going to take me a while. I'm planning to read and respond to all of them. Just know that eventually I will answer or reply to your comment. So before going into the hospital for this procedure, I was kind of proud of myself, in a weird sort of way, that I wasn't really taking very many prescription medications. I thought, wow, I made it to 70 and I'm only really taking a statin. I was also taking some potassium citrate, which is just potassium, so I didn't really, even though it is prescribed, it's just potassium, sort of like a vitamin. I was taking that for my kidney stones. And I was also taking eye drops for my eye, for glaucoma, or to prevent glaucoma. I was taking those 3, and I thought, that's pretty good, to reach 70 and to be very healthy and to not have to take many prescription medications. But now, unfortunately, after this heart procedure, they put me on blood thinners, beta blockers for the heart stents, and medication to lower your blood pressure. So I'm on 4 new medications now, which brings me to a total of 7 prescription medications. Plus I take, almost daily, I take a pill for my allergies. I have really, really bad allergies, but it's over the counter and it seems to do pretty well. I also At least with the diet that I was on, I was taking a daily, almost daily pill for heartburn or acid reflux. Again, over the counter. So that brought me up to 9 medications. So the day I got out of the hospital, we had to go fill these 4 new prescriptions. And I remember thinking, gosh, I turned into my mom. And I know a couple of you left messages saying you felt the same thing when you had to start increasing all of your prescription meds. And it got me thinking and wondering, and I wonder really how common this is. At what age do you turn into your parents as far as all of a sudden now having to take half a dozen to a dozen prescription medications? So anyway, I was curious how many of you were like me. Did you get to a certain age when all of a sudden you had to take more pills? And how many pills are you taking? So I posted a poll yesterday. I don't even think it's been a full day yet, but I discovered on these polls that I started sharing with all of you a few months ago that usually whatever the result is within the first few hours, that's what it stays forever. It doesn't usually change very much. So I think I'm pretty safe to share the poll results with you right now, even though it hasn't quite been 24 hours. It's been close. And once again, I'm really surprised and shocked at the results. I was expecting something very different. Now, one of you also mentioned in the comments of the poll saying it would also be really nice to know how old each person is who's taking the poll. I hadn't thought about that before because I guess I was just thinking everyone who watches this channel, or the majority of the people who watch this channel, are seniors and or retirees. So we're all at least 50. And I actually just double checked this morning just to check, because on the back end of YouTube, the analytics tell me everyone who's watching and the percentage of male and female and a breakdown of who's watching by age. And sure enough, I was right. I mean, it's stayed the same since I started this channel. 46% of the viewers are female and 54% are male. So it's pretty close to 50-50 male and female watching this channel. But when it comes to ages, approximately 75% of all the viewers are over 55 years old. So 33.7% of the viewers watching this channel are between 55 and 64 years old. But the largest category, 42.9%, are 65 years or older. So between those two categories, that's around 75% of the viewers. So the other 25% are under 55. But again, most of them are 40 or above. So almost everyone who's responded is probably over 50 years old. So that's why the results surprised me. I figured if everyone watching or responding would be over 50 years old, and the majority probably over 55, maybe 60 years old, I was expecting everyone to be like me, to have at least 7 prescription medications that they were taking, but that wasn't the case at all. So 20% of those of you who took the poll said that you take 0 prescription medications. That was kind of a surprise. Now, it's possible that those 20% might be the ones that are under 50 or under 40. Still, I almost didn't even put 0 because I didn't think anybody would have 0 prescriptions. I just assumed everyone watching this channel has at least 1 prescription, but I was wrong. 20% of you are in very, very good health and have no prescription drugs at all. So congratulations to all of you. Now, 24% of you take 1 to 2 prescription medications. 26% of you have 3 to 4 prescriptions. And only 14% of you take between 5 and 6 prescriptions. And only 16% of you are like me. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's actually excellent. So I don't know if maybe the people watching this channel are more healthy than other people our age, or if maybe my mom's group of friends was just, oh, there's Jim coming back from his doctor's appointment.
Hi.
I don't think they can even see you, it's so low. You might have to come back and bend very low.
Hi.
So how'd it go at the doctor's?
Well, they're going to send me for an MRI.
MRI for what?
My prostate.
Oh, Jim went to his urologist. He's having prostate issues, I guess, and so
Issues.
No issues?
I mean, it's just the PSA's been increasing over the last couple tests.
Okay, so you haven't noticed any.
Like the doctor said, everything else shrinks as you get older except for the prostate.
Yeah. All right, well, that's pretty much our new life now. Just spending, when we're not here at home, we're at the doctor's, one of our many doctors.
Yeah.
So like I usually do with these videos where I include the results of polls that I posted on this channel in the community section, I'm going to read you some of the comments viewers left after taking the poll. Monica Meza says, I'll be 66 soon, and so far so good. No meds needed. Just eating healthy plus a few vitamins. That's amazing. That's great. And C.S. Roethlisberger, no prescription drugs, vitamins only. Also very lucky, or just very healthy. I don't know. Brad Mitchell says, hello, Steve. Glad to hear you're doing well. I turned 61 and my pancreas decided to only make half the insulin needed. So I'm now type 2 diabetic, now taking 6 pills every day. Luckily, was able to get off the daily needle. So far, so thankful for that. It's tough going from a skinny guy that could eat, drink, and smoke anything I wanted, but I guess things could always be worse. So true, Brad, but thank you for sharing that with us. Mary Dahl says, 10 for me, not happy, but healthy. Okay, yeah, I can relate. Not happy taking my 7, but I'm sure I'm a lot healthier because of it. WDH says, both my elderly parents were taking between 10 to 12 different medications daily, and they said, that's it, no more, and weaned themselves off of them, and they thrived after that, and the money copays that they saved was incredible. All people should evaluate their meds and realize they don't need them all. By the way, my dad lived to 88 and my mom to 94. Okay, so this is just WDH's opinion, because when he says all people should evaluate their meds and realize they don't need them all, I would add they might not need them all. I guess it depends on doctors and what you have, and maybe over time you can wean yourself off, but definitely I would never suggest anyone go off their meds without talking to their doctors first, but I guess it's up to everyone to decide for themselves. So Dorthra Walker says that she takes 4, but she should take 6, but because her medical insurance was canceled, I guess she can't afford to get her blood pressure and one other medication. Yeah, some of them are so expensive. If you don't have the right insurance, then even if you need them, you might not be able to take them. That's sad to hear. Jelly Beans says, I had a flu bug attack my heart 6 years ago and almost died. I recovered, and 3 years ago I had a sinus infection, got septic shock, and about died. I am 54 and on many meds for heart, statins, blood thinners, etc. Doing pretty good for the most part. I work full-time and walk regularly with my dog at the cemetery. D. Margie says they take 9 prescription medications. Ultrapolitan Records says, no need when you eat a health-promoting plant-based diet. Watch forks over knives and what the health. I guess those must be channels. And Esselstein's book on heart health, Before It's Too Late, It's the Food. Well, yeah, I think food's very, very important, but everyone's totally different. The funny thing is, the comments that I was receiving in that last video, I received at least a dozen comments from lots of folks saying that the solution to all of my problems, I would never have any heart problems again. All I needed to do was eat meat only, a meat only diet, and lots of fat and butter, and the more fat and the more meat, the better. Now, I don't know if these were trolls or if these were people who are just really into conspiracy theories or what. And a few of them said they changed their diet to meat only, 10 years ago, and they've never been healthier, and that may be true. Like I said, we're all different, but I'm pretty sure that 99% of all doctors and all hospitals and all health-related institutions and nutritionists would say just the opposite. I don't know, maybe they're all wrong. Maybe the meat eaters, the carnivore diet people are right, but I'm going to stick with the majority of doctors and nutritionists and health professionals. But anyway, I just have to say that. So people are giving their opinions. You have to remember, these are just opinions. This isn't a medical channel. I'm not giving medical advice. But as far as Ultrapolitan Records goes, yeah, I think a lot of it is the food. But I'm sure there are a lot of vegans and vegetarians who also get high cholesterol and have heart attacks. I mean, that'd be interesting. I'm going to have to look that up and see. But there must, because It seems that a lot of people get high cholesterol and clogged arteries just because of their genes. It's just hereditary. Everyone in their family gets it no matter what they eat. So I think people need to remember that everybody's different. All right, Todd Tropical says 5 prescription meds so far. Debbie Bullion says, I take meds for thyroid, type 2 diabetes, and triglycerides and some vitamins. Melanie says, 5, but 6 if you count the one I could get over the counter if my doc didn't prescribe it. The others are 2 blood pressure meds, Lipitor, gabapentin, which I'm weaning myself off of after a bout of shingles, and Janumet, which come to think of it is 2 meds in one, Januvia and metformin. So 7, I guess. I should change my vote then. Yikes. Now I'm really determined to get off the gabapentin. I don't like the thought of taking 7 prescriptions. Yeah, me either, Melanie. Dan Karan says, right after my heart attack and CABG surgery, I was on 9 or 10 medications. Now that I have recovered, I am on 5 plus a baby aspirin. Okay. Yeah, so some of these, apparently, after time, you can wean yourself off of. Hopefully I can wean myself off a couple of these over time, and I'll be back down to 3 or 4 or 5. I guess time will tell. Marlene Pearson says, I think I have 9. You could tell something will be overpriced when they have commercials on with happy people singing and dancing because they are taking the medicine. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Sock Monkey Cuties says, I have a lot of prescriptions. I'm thinking it's close to 20. I have been diagnosed with several different things, including fibromyalgia, osteoarthritis, lupus, and type 2 diabetes. I have been on disability for about 6 years now, and I just turned 43. Gosh, so sad to hear that at such a young age. And it's awful to have to take so many medications, but it sure beats the alternative, right? I mean, Linda says, I take 3, hopefully no more, but you never know. Plus Tylenol as needed. Spirit Fox says, 1, very low dose of lisinopril, diabetic, and doctor said it helps protect the kidneys. 2, Wegovy for diabetes, was taking Manjaro, but since my A1C went from 9 plus down to 5 plus 7, my insurance will no longer cover it for me. 3, Omeprazole. I know I'm butchering all the names of these medications, I'm sure. 4, Celebrax. 5, cholesterol medication. 6, vitamin D. 7, an antidepressant. That's 5 or 6 or 7 medications. Kim says at 69, she takes 3 and $17 a month covers it. Gosh, she probably doesn't live here in the US, unless that's the copay. So much less than in the US, okay? I guess that one, right? We can get prescription drugs at the pharmacy here in Cambodia if we know what we need without the additional cost of doctor's visits. That's great. Author on Wills says, I'm only 30 and due to some problematic high blood pressure, I am on blood pressure meds for the rest of my life. Up to this point, I haven't taken any meds despite having a severe physical disability, but I'm still pretty blessed to know that I only have to take 1. Yeah, that is a blessing for sure. Denise Darnell says, I am on 12. Thanks to my back and spinal injuries and high blood pressure, and now just got out of hospital for the last 5 days due to stomach ulcers and gallbladder. Ugh, it's always something, and I'm 59 years old. Yeah, so sorry to hear that, Denise. That's a lot, 12. Shalila, rhymes with Delilah, says, right now, none. I was taking a blood thinner, Eliquis, but had to stop when I had a bad reaction to it. I blew up like a water balloon. I nearly drowned in my own fluids. Yikes, that's scary. John Petticord says 1 for blood pressure, 1 for cholesterol, non-prescription Tylenol, 8-hour arthritis pain so far. Just Barry says 14. I'm a mess. Sorry to hear that, Barry. 14 prescriptions. Greg Sayer says he's taking 9 prescription medications. Watergirl H2O says a total of 5 prescribed by the doctor. I also take vitamin D and magnesium over the counter. Okay, 5, not too bad. Corgis says 4 to date, 2 for thyroid and 2 for blood pressure. Okay, 4 is not too bad. Louise D. Stuff, or Lewis D. Stuff. I take 7 prescriptions and several supplements. I have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, bipolar 1, GAD, and insomnia for prescriptions. One Otter Lover takes 9 prescription drugs. Lana Colasar says, "Hi Steve, I take thyroid, high blood pressure and cholesterol. Had thyroid removed in April, having a hard time getting the meds where they want them. Cholesterol good, was low, and so was the bad cholesterol. I feel great." Okay, that's good to know. Christopher Rice says, "I take a total of 14 a day, 10 in the morning, 3 at supper time, and 1 at bedtime. I've had 2 heart attacks, have diabetes, and COPD." Oh gosh, so sorry to hear that, Christopher. Garmo98 says, "After a stroke, later a broken femur, and most recently AFib, I have 12 prescriptions." So as always, thank you for all of you who took the time to vote in the poll and to share by leaving your comments. They're always very helpful, and it's always interesting to compare with each other, at least I think so. And I'm really glad to hear that at least on this channel, at least the people who have responded to the poll, most everyone seems to be pretty healthy, at least overall, much healthier than I thought. And when I say healthy, just meaning that we aren't taking as many prescription medications as I would have guessed, which is great. Fingers crossed I can stay at 7 or even get below 7 prescription medications, and that some of you can maintain where you are, or maybe even at some point lower some of the medications. So share with us in future videos, and until then, try to stay healthy, everybody, and I'll hope to see you on the next video.